The necklace isn't even expensive. That's what I keep telling myself as I stand outside Romano's gallery at 11:47 p.m., my fingers numb around my car keys, staring at the dark windows like they might suddenly illuminate and solve my problem. It's a simple silver chain with a small sapphire pendant, a gift from my grandmother before she died. The clasp has been loose for weeks. I knew I should have gotten it fixed. I knew I shouldn't have worn it to work. And I definitely knew I shouldn't have taken it off and left it in my desk drawer. But here I am. Because tomorrow morning I'm driving 6 hours to my sister's wedding, and the thought of standing next to her without Nana's necklace feels like showing up without my own skin. The street is empty. Downtown clears out after 9, leaving only the occasional taxi and the distant wail of sirens that's become white noise in this city. The gallery sits between a closed bookstore and an upscale restaurant that stopped serving an hour ago. I have my keys. I have the alarm code. I can be in and out in 3 minutes. So why does every instinct tell me to get back in my car and drive away? I'm halfway to the door when I notice it. The lock is broken. Not broken, picked. The metal around the keyhole has fresh scratches, silver against the brass. My heart does this stuttering thing where it forgets how to beat properly. Someone's inside? I should call the police. That's what rational people do, but rational people also don't manage art galleries that acquire pieces through, let's call them complicated channels. Our owner, Dominic Romano, has always been vague about his connections. I've learned not to ask questions about the private viewings that happen after hours, or the men in expensive suits who never give their last names. The police would ask questions I can't answer. I pull out my phone anyway, thumb hovering over the emergency call button, and push the door open. It swings silently. Someone oiled the hinges recently. They usually creak. The gallery opens into a large main room, high ceilings dripping with crystal chandeliers that catch moonlight through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Sculptures cast long shadows across marble floors. Paintings worth more than my yearly salary hang in calculated positions, their subjects watching me with oil paint eyes. Everything looks untouched. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the lock was always like that and I never noticed. I'm almost convinced when I hear it. Voices. Low, male, speaking Italian too rapid for my 2 semesters of college classes to catch. They're coming from Romano's private office, the room I'm not allowed to enter, the room that's always locked, the room that definitely shouldn't have people in it at midnight. Run. That's what my brain screams. Run, Sienna. Get out. Forget the necklace. Forget the job. Just run. But my body doesn't listen. Maybe it's the exhaustion from working 60-hour weeks. Maybe it's the grief that still sits heavy in my chest every time I think about Nana. Maybe I'm just tired of being careful, of keeping my head down, of pretending I don't see the shadows in the corners of this place. I move toward my office instead, a small room off the main gallery, barely more than a glorified closet with a desk and a filing cabinet. My hand is on the doorknob when the voices stop. The silence is worse. Footsteps, expensive shoes on marble, moving toward the main room. Toward me. I slip into my office and close the door with a soft click, not daring to breathe. My desk is right there, 3 steps away. The drawer where I left the necklace is partially open. I can see the silver chain catching light from the street lamp outside. The footsteps stop outside my door. My heart is so loud I'm certain whoever's out there can hear it. I press my back against the wall, phone clutched in my sweating palm, fingers still on that emergency button. The door opens. He's backlit by the chandelier, so I only catch impressions at first. Tall, broad-shouldered, moving with the kind of controlled grace that speaks of violence held in check. Dark suit, dark hair, darker eyes that find me instantly despite the shadows. You shouldn't be here. His voice is accented, Italian smoothing the edges of his words, making them sound almost musical, almost gentle, almost. I work here. My voice comes out steadier than I feel. You don't. He steps inside, and now I can see him properly. Late 30s, maybe 40. Sharp jaw, sharper cheekbones, the kind of face that belongs on Roman statues, all hard lines and aristocratic angles. His suit probably costs more than my car. There's a thin scar cutting through his left eyebrow. pale against olive skin. And his eyes. God, his eyes. They're not just dark. They're the color of espresso, of midnight, of things that happen in shadows where nobody's watching. They catalog me with unsettling intensity, my jeans and sweater, my sneakers, my bare neck where the necklace should be, my phone with the emergency screen still glowing. Put the phone down, Sienna. Ice slides down my spine. How do you know my name? I know everyone who works in my buildings. He says it casually, like it's normal, like it doesn't imply surveillance and files and information I never consented to giving. Your building? Romano works for me. He takes another step closer. There's nowhere for me to go. My back is already against the wall. You still haven't put the phone down. I look at the screen, at those 3 numbers that could bring sirens and questions and consequences. Then I look at him. He doesn't look worried. Men who worry don't stand like that. Relaxed, hands loose at his sides, weight balanced like he's ready to move in any direction. Men who worry don't break into art galleries at midnight and admit to owning the whole operation. Men who worry aren't in the mafia. And he absolutely is. I can see it in the way he holds himself, in the expensive watch glinting on his wrist, in the bulge beneath his jacket that's definitely a gun. I've seen enough of Romano's associates to recognize the type. But I've never seen him before. I lower the phone. The screen goes dark. Smart. Something that might be approval flickers across his face. Now tell me why you're really here. I forgot something. At midnight. The clasp is broken. I didn't want to lose it. His gaze drops to my desk, to the open drawer, to the necklace glinting in the shadows. One dark eyebrow lifts. Sentimental value? My grandmother's. She's dead. It's not a question. I nod anyway. He moves past me, close enough that I catch his scent, something expensive and masculine with an undertone of gun oil and danger, and picks up the necklace. It looks delicate in his hands. His hands are not delicate. Scarred knuckles, calloused palms, a thin white line across his right thumb that speaks of knife fights and violence. Sapphire, he says, examining it in the moonlight. Salon, if I'm not mistaken. Good quality. The setting is old, 1940s, maybe 1950s. 1948. My grandfather had it made for their anniversary. He had good taste. He turns those dark eyes back to me. She raised you? The question catches me off guard. How did you... You keep a photograph. On your desk, behind the computer where Romano can't see it during his inspections. He nods toward my workspace. An old woman, garden background, you as a child on her lap, same necklace around her neck. My throat tightens. I'd forgotten about that photo. I've stared at my desk 1,000 times and stopped seeing it. He saw it. She died 2 years ago, I hear myself say. Cancer. You were with her. Until the end. Something shifts in his expression. So subtle I almost miss it. A softening around his eyes, maybe. Or maybe I'm just desperate to see humanity in a man who breaks into buildings and carries guns like other people carry wallets. He steps closer again. This time, I don't have the wall to back against. He's somehow positioned himself between me and any exit. The office suddenly feels very small. Give me your hand, he says. Why? Because I'm telling you to. It should sound threatening. Somehow it doesn't. Or maybe I'm just too tired to be properly afraid anymore. I extend my hand, palm up, trying to stop the trembling. He places the necklace in my palm, but he doesn't let go. His fingers curl around mine, warm and rough, completely engulfing my hand. He's close enough now that I can see the gold flecks in his dark eyes, the faint stubble along his jaw, the way his pulse beats in his throat. The clasp is broken, he says quietly. I know. You'll lose it. I'll get it fixed tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll be 6 hours away at your sister's wedding. He says it like he's commenting on the weather, not revealing that he knows my schedule, my family, my life. How? Turn around, Sienna. My name in his accent does things to my nervous system that my therapist would find deeply concerning. I should demand answers. I should be running. I turn around. His hands settle on my shoulders, steadying me, and I feel the necklace lift from my palm. He moves my hair aside. His fingers brush the nape of my neck, and I suppress a shiver. And then the cool silver is against my skin. Hold still. I hear soft, metallic sounds, feel the slight tug as he works the clasp. His breath is warm against my neck. He smells like expensive cologne and something darker, something that makes my hindbrain scream danger even as my body leans infinitesimally backward. There. His hands remain on my shoulders, thumbs resting against the curve where my neck meets my back. Fixed. You fixed it? My mother's jewelry broke constantly. My father was useless. Someone had to learn. His voice is close to my ear, low and rough. Check it. I reach up with shaking fingers and test the clasp. It holds firm. How did you— Turn around. I do, and suddenly we're inches apart. I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. He's even taller than I thought. Or maybe I'm shrinking, or maybe the world has condensed down to this tiny office and this dangerous man, and the way he's looking at me like he's trying to solve an equation. Thank you, I whisper. You're welcome. He doesn't move. Neither do I. You should leave now. You're still here. I have business to finish. At midnight. The kind of business that doesn't happen in daylight. His hand comes up and I think he's going to touch my face, but he just adjusts the necklace so the pendant sits centered. His knuckles graze my collarbone. Go home, Sienna. I don't even know your name. Yes, you do. And I do. Suddenly, sickeningly, I do. You're Matteo Santoro. He smiles, and it's not a nice smile. It's the smile of a man who owns half the city and kills people who displease him. I've heard Romano on the phone, voice hushed and respectful, always saying the same name. Il Lupo, the wolf, head of the Santoro family, not just Mafia, the Mafia, the organization that runs everything from the docks to the city council to, apparently, the art gallery where I've been working for 2 years without knowing. I see my reputation precedes me. He says it with dark amusement. You kill people. Sometimes. You're a criminal. By most legal definitions, yes. I should call the police. You won't. He's absolutely certain. Because you're smart enough to know what happens to people who call the police on me, and because— His hand comes up again, this time definitely touching my face, his thumb tracing the line of my jaw. You're curious. I'm not. Liar. The word is soft, almost affectionate. You've been working here for 26 months, pretending not to notice the irregularities, the shipments that arrive at odd hours, the buyers who never give names, the fact that Romano never asks for references or background checks, never cares if you see things you shouldn't. I mind my own business. You're observant. There's a difference. His thumb moves to my lower lip, barely brushing it. You notice everything. You just choose not to act on it. Do you know why? I can't breathe properly. Why? Because some part of you has always known the truth, and some part of you— He leans in close enough that his lips nearly touch my ear, finds it fascinating. You're insane. Probably. He pulls back and the loss of his warmth feels like abandonment. Go home, Sienna. Drive to your sister's wedding. Wear your grandmother's necklace. Pretend this never happened. Will it? Happen again? That depends. On what? His smile is slow, predatory, the smile of a wolf indeed. On whether you come back. I work here, of course I'll come back. I'm not talking about work. The air between us is charged, electric, dangerous. I should be terrified. I am terrified. But I'm also— God help me. I'm also intrigued. What are you talking about then? You'll figure it out. He steps back, putting professional distance between us, and the spell breaks. There's a car outside, black SUV, license plate ending in 847. My driver will take you home. I have my car. Your car will be delivered to your apartment by morning. You're not driving right now. You can't just. I can. I am. His voice sharpens, takes on the edge of command that probably makes grown men obey without question. You're shaking, Sienna. Adrenaline crash. You shouldn't drive. I look down at my hands. He's right. I'm trembling like a leaf. The driver's name is Marco. He's been with my family for 20 years. You're safe with him. But not with you? The question hangs in the air between us. His eyes darken further, if that's even possible. No, he says finally, not with me. Not safe at all. At least he's honest. Go, he says again, softer this time. Before I change my mind about letting you leave. That should terrify me even more. Instead, it sends heat pooling low in my stomach, dangerous and wrong and absolutely undeniable. I move toward the door on unsteady legs. His hand catches my wrist as I pass, stopping me. Sienna. I look back at him. The necklace suits you. Your grandmother had good taste. His thumb strokes once across my pulse point. So do I. Then he releases me and I'm stumbling out into the gallery, past the sculptures and paintings, out the door that doesn't creak, into the cold night air that doesn't do anything to cool the fever in my blood. The SUV is exactly where he said it would be. The driver, middle-aged, kind eyes, definitely armed, opens the door without speaking. I slide into leather seats that smell expensive and feel like clouds. As we pull away, I look back at the gallery. He's standing in the window, backlit again, watching me leave. Even from here, even through tinted glass and distance, I can feel the weight of his gaze. And I know, with absolute certainty, that this isn't over. This is just beginning. Act 2, the following week. I don't go back to work for 5 days. The wedding happens in a blur, my sister radiant in white, my mother crying, extended family asking when I'll find someone, me touching Nana's necklace obsessively and remembering dangerous hands fixing the clasp in the dark. The gallery calls twice. I let it go to voicemail. Romano's assistant leaves a message about inventory needing my attention. I delete it. My car appears in my apartment parking lot the morning after, keys in an envelope under the wiper. No note, no explanation, as if I need one. I tell myself I'm going to quit, find a new job, something safe and boring and far away from men with dark eyes and darker occupations. I update my resume, I scroll through job listings, I don't apply to any of them. Wednesday afternoon, my phone rings. Unknown number, I shouldn't answer. I know I shouldn't. I answer. How was the wedding? His voice, unmistakable even through the phone line. How did you get this number? Sienna? Patient, amused. How was the wedding? I'm standing in my kitchen, sunlight streaming through the window, everything normal and safe and domestic. His voice turns it all into shadows. Beautiful, I hear myself say. My sister was happy. And you? What about me? Were you happy? I wore the necklace. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. He laughs, low and rich and far too pleasant for a man who kills people. You've been avoiding the gallery. I've been busy. You've been scared. I'm not. Liar. Again, almost affectionate. You're terrified. Of me, of what you felt, of what you know about me now. So you're hiding. I'm not hiding. I'm making informed decisions about my safety. Intelligent. I'd expect nothing less. A pause. But you're coming back. I haven't decided. Yes, you have. You decided the moment you answered this call. He's right, and we both know it. Friday night, 8 p.m., not the gallery. Then where? I'll send a car. No. Sienna. No. My voice is stronger now. I don't get into cars sent by men I don't know to go to places I'm not told about. That's how people disappear. Another pause. I can almost hear him thinking, recalculating. Fair, he says finally. Rossini's, 9 p.m. It's a restaurant. Public. Well lit. Excellent security. My family owns it, But you'll be safe there. Safer than you were in that office. Why would I have dinner with you? Because you're curious. Because I fixed your necklace. Because... His voice drops lower, intimate despite the phone line. You want to see if I'm as dangerous as you think I am. And if I don't come? Then you don't come. I'm not in the habit of forcing women to have dinner with me, Sienna. I have many faults, but that's not one of them. What are your faults? Come to dinner and find out. I should say no. Every rational cell in my brain is screaming no. I'll think about it. You'll come. He sounds certain. Wear the necklace. Why? Because I want to see if you listened. Then he hangs up, and I'm left standing in my sunny kitchen, holding my phone, heart racing, knowing I'm about to make a terrible decision. Friday night, I spend 2 hours getting ready. I tell myself it's because I want to look professional, confident, in control. I tell myself the black dress, simple, elegant, hitting just above the knee, is appropriate for a business dinner. I'm lying to myself. I know I'm lying when I add the sapphire necklace and watch it catch the light against my collarbone, when I spend an extra 15 minutes on my makeup, when I change my shoes 3 times before settling on heels that make my legs look longer, when I spray perfume on my wrists and remember his nose against my neck. The cab drops me at Rossini's at 8:57. It's in the heart of the business district, tucked between skyscrapers, the kind of place where senators and CEOs make deals over wine that costs more than my rent. The hostess takes one look at me and smiles knowingly. Ms. Hayes, this way, please. So he told them I was coming. Presumptuous, accurate, but presumptuous. She leads me through the main dining room. White tablecloths, crystal, low lighting, the quiet murmur of wealth and power, and through a door at the back. A private room, smaller, more intimate. He's already there. Matteo stands as I enter, and I'm struck again by how he commands space without trying. Different suit tonight, charcoal gray, crisp white shirt, no tie. His hair is slightly less perfect than before, like he's been running his fingers through it. You came. He sounds pleased, unsurprised. I was hungry. Of course you were. He moves to pull out my chair. You look beautiful. Thank you. I prefer it when you're honest, Sienna. I sit, and he pushes the chair in with old-world courtesy that feels jarringly incongruous with everything else I know about him. What do you mean? He takes his seat across from me. You knew I'd be here. You didn't dress for dinner. You dressed for me. Heat floods my face. That's presumptuous. That's observant. He pours wine from a bottle that's already breathing. And you wore the necklace. My hand moves involuntarily to touch it. You told me to? I suggested. You chose. He raises his glass. 2 choices. I pick up my wine. Our glasses clink, a sound like a decision being made. The wine is incredible, rich and complex and far beyond my usual grocery store budget. I take a longer sip than I should. Tell me about your work, he says. You know about my work. You apparently know everything about me. I know facts. Employment history, apartment address, the fact that you visit your mother every second Sunday and always bring her gardenias. His eyes never leave my face. I don't know who you are. And you think dinner will tell you that? I think watching you decide whether to be honest or careful will tell me everything. I set down my wine glass. What do you want to know? Why art? You studied business in college, graduated top of your class. You could work anywhere. Art is beautiful. Business is just money. You need money to live. I need beauty to stay alive. There's a difference. Something flickers across his face. Recognition, maybe. Understanding. Your grandmother was an artist. A painter. Nothing famous, but she was talented. I touched the necklace again. She taught me that beauty matters. That it's not frivolous or impractical. It's how we remember we're human. And working for Romano lets you be close to that beauty. Most of the time. But you know what Romano really does. What those paintings and sculptures really are. My throat tightens. Here it is. The real question. The test. Money laundering, I say quietly. High-end art is hard to trace, easy to overvalue, Perfect for moving dirty money across borders. The private viewings are transactions. The buyers are criminals cleaning their cash. And you've known this for how long? 6 months. Maybe longer. I meet his eyes. I suspected from the beginning, but I didn't have proof until I accidentally saw shipping manifests that didn't match our inventory logs. But you didn't quit. No. Why not? This is it. The moment where I'm honest or I walk away. Because I need the job, because I have student loans and rent and a mother who's getting older and medical bills I'm still paying off from Nana's last year. I take another drink of wine. And because leaving wouldn't stop it. Someone else would take my position. At least if I'm there, I can make sure the art itself is treated with respect. Rationalization. Self-preservation. You could have reported us. To who? Romano has half the police department on his payroll. I've seen the evidence. I lean forward. And you're not asking because you want to know. You already know I didn't report it. You're asking to see if I'll admit what that makes me. Which is? Complicit. A coward. An accomplice. The words taste bitter. Choose whichever label fits. I choose none of them. Then you're lying to yourself. No. He sets down his glass. I choose survivor, pragmatist, someone who understands that morality is more complicated than they teach in schools. His hand crosses the table, palm up, an offering. Someone like me. I'm nothing like you. Keep telling yourself that. I stare at his hand. Scarred, dangerous, steady. I should not take it. Everything in my life that still makes sense says not to take it. I take it. His fingers close around mine, warm and sure, and something in my chest cracks open. Tell me something true, he says quietly. Like what? Something you've never told anyone. Something that scares you. I should laugh it off. I should deflect. I should. Sometimes I'm glad Nana died when she did. The words tumble out before I can stop them. Before she could see what I've become. Before she knew I was working for criminals and keeping my mouth shut because I'm too afraid to do anything else. My eyes burn. She raised me to be better than this. She raised you to survive. She raised me to be brave. You are brave. His thumb strokes across my knuckles. Coming here tonight? That's brave. Telling me the truth? That's brave. Staying alive in a world that's trying to break you? That's the bravest thing of all. You don't know me well enough to say that. I know you kept working after your grandmother died, even though grief was eating you alive. I know you took extra shifts to pay her medical bills instead of letting her suffer in substandard care. I know you smile at Romano's tasteless jokes and bad breath because you need the job, even though it makes your skin crawl. He leans forward, his eyes intense. I know you're stronger than you think you are, Sienna, and I know you're wasted on that gallery and that life. What do you know about my life? I know it's small, safe, suffocating. His voice is low, hypnotic. I know you're dying slowly in that apartment, pretending to be satisfied with mediocrity because it's easier than admitting you want more. More of what? Everything. Danger, passion, truth, a life that actually feels like living instead of just surviving. And you can give me that? I don't hide the skepticism. I can show you what it looks like. What you do with it, that's your choice. Why me? Because... He pauses, and for the first time, he looks almost uncertain. Because when you stood in that office, terrified and furious and alive, looking at me like you couldn't decide whether to run or fight, you didn't do either. You asked questions. You wanted to understand. So nobody does that. People see me and they either submit or they run. You did neither. You looked at me and you saw... He trails off, searching for words. What? What did I see? A person, not a monster, not a myth. Just a man who fixed a necklace because he remembered his mother's jewelry breaking. The vulnerability in his voice cracks something inside me. You are a monster, though, I whisper. I know. You've killed people. Yes. You'll kill again. Probably. I should be running. I know. Why aren't I? His hand tightens on mine. Because you're tired of running. Because some part of you recognizes that I'm just as trapped as you are, just in a prettier cage. Because he stands, still holding my hand, and moves around the table until he's close enough that I have to tilt my head back. You feel this too. Feel what? This. His free hand comes up, cupping my jaw, thumb tracing my cheekbone. Tell me you don't feel it, Sienna. Tell me you don't lie awake thinking about that night. Tell me you don't wonder what would have happened if you hadn't left. I can't. God help me, I can't. This is insane, I breathe. Completely. I don't even know you. You know enough. You're a criminal, and you're an accomplice. We're well matched. He's too close. His cologne is intoxicating. His thumb is doing things to my face that should be illegal. And his eyes... God, his eyes are looking at me like I'm something precious and dangerous all at once. Mateo. Say that again. What? My name. Say it again. Why? Because I want to hear how it sounds when you're not afraid. I am afraid. No. His forehead touches mine, intimate and devastating. You're terrified. There's a difference. What's the difference? Fear makes you run. Terror makes you brave. Then his lips brush mine, barely a kiss, more a question, and every coherent thought in my head evaporates. I could pull away. I should pull away. I pull him closer. The kiss deepens, and it's nothing like I imagined. It's not rough or demanding or violent. It's careful, almost reverent, like he's memorizing the taste of me. His hand slides into my hair, cradling my head, and I feel the tension in his body, the restraint, the control, the leashed power that could break me if he let go. But he doesn't let go. He holds on like I'm the only thing keeping him human. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. That was, I start. A mistake, he finishes. Probably. Definitely. Are you going to run now? I should. Every single survival instinct I have is screaming at me to run. No. His smile is slow, dangerous, absolutely devastating. Good. Over the next 3 weeks, I fall in love with a monster. Or maybe I don't fall. Maybe I jump, eyes open, knowing exactly what I'm doing. He doesn't send cars anymore. He picks me up himself, usually late at night when the city is dark and forgiving. We drive along the waterfront, through neighborhoods I've never seen, past warehouses and shipping docks where his real business happens in shadows. He doesn't lie to me. Not about who he is, what he does, the blood on his hands that will never wash clean. I run this city, he tells me one night, parked overlooking the harbor. Not officially, but every major decision, every big deal, every politician who thinks they have power, it goes through me first. That doesn't scare you? Terrifies me. But I was born into this, Sienna. My father, his father, back 4 generations. I didn't choose this life. You could leave. No. His hands tighten on the steering wheel. I couldn't. You don't leave the family. You die in it or you die trying to escape it. Those are the only options. That's bleak. That's reality. He looks at me. I'm not a good man. I've done terrible things. I'll do worse before I'm done. If you're looking for redemption or salvation, you're looking at the wrong person. What if I'm not looking for that? Then what are you looking for? I don't know yet. I touch his hand. Maybe just someone who doesn't pretend. I can give you that. And he does. He shows me the real him, the man who visits a shelter every week and funds it anonymously, the son who still brings flowers to his mother's grave every Sunday, the leader who protects his people with absolute loyalty, who makes sure the families of his soldiers never go without, but also the man who orders executions without hesitation, who breaks fingers to get information, who has a reputation that makes grown men go pale. I should be horrified. Instead, I'm fascinated. What does that make me? I ask one night. We're in his apartment, penthouse naturally, overlooking the city like a throne room. That I can know what you do and still want to be here? Human, he says simply. Complicated. Honest about your darkness instead of pretending you don't have any. I'm not dark. No? He pulls me onto his lap on the leather sofa. Then why do you ask me questions about my work? Why do you want to know the details instead of pretending ignorance? I don't know. Because you understand. His hands frame my face. You understand that the world isn't black and white, that sometimes monsters protect better than heroes, that morality is a luxury the privileged can afford. Is that what you are? A monster who protects? Would it bother you if I said yes? I think about it, really think about it. About the men who've come into the gallery, the deals I've seen, the violence I've always known exists in the background of my safe little life. No, I admit. It wouldn't. Then maybe you're more like me than you thought. Maybe I am. He kisses me slowly, thoroughly, until I'm dizzy with it. We haven't gone further than this. Kissing, touching, the slow burn of restraint that's driving both of us insane. Why haven't you... I start, breathless. Because when I have you, and I will have you, Sienna, I want you to be sure. His thumb traces my lower lip. I want you to choose me knowing exactly what you're choosing. No doubts, no regrets, no running away afterward. I won't run. You might. When you realize what it means to be with me, when you understand the target it puts on your back. I'm not afraid. You should be. But I'm not. That's the terrifying part. The confrontation. It all falls apart on a Tuesday. I'm at the gallery, cataloging a new shipment, when Romano calls me into his office. Close the door, he says, and my stomach drops. His face is red, angry, his usual pretense of civility gone. You want to tell me why Santoro has been asking about your schedule? My blood goes cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me, girl. I've been in this business 30 years. You think I don't notice when the boss starts sniffing around my employees? He leans forward. What did you tell him? Nothing. I haven't told him anything. Then why is he protecting you? Why did he tell me, personally in my ear, that you're not to be touched, not to be questioned, not to be involved in any aspect of the real business? Because he's falling for me, because I'm falling for him, because we're both making terrible decisions. I don't know, I say instead. You're sleeping with him. That's none of your business. It is when it puts my operation at risk. He slams his hand on the desk. Do you have any idea what you've done? Getting involved with Santoro? He's not a boyfriend, he's a weapon, and now you're a liability. I'm not. You are. To him, to me, to yourself. Romano's face is purple now. He can't afford weakness. His enemies will use you against him. They'll hurt you to get to him. Is that what you want? To be a pawn? Nobody's using me. No? Then where is he right now, Sienna? Do you even know? I don't. He was supposed to call this morning. He didn't. Romano sees the realization on my face and laughs bitterly. He's at a sit-down. The Calabrese family is challenging his territory. There could be blood tonight. War. And if there is, you think you'll survive it? You think he can protect you from that? He wouldn't let. He's one man against families that have been killing each other for centuries. Romano stands. Go home, Sienna. Pack your things. Get out of this city. That's the only way you survive this. No. Don't be stupid. I said no. My voice is stronger than I feel. I'm not running. Then you're a fool. Maybe I am. I leave the gallery in a daze, Romano's words echoing. My phone stays silent. Matteo doesn't call. By evening, I'm pacing my apartment, checking news sites for reports of violence, finding nothing. At 9 p.m., someone knocks on my door. I look through the peephole and see Marco, Matteo's driver. His face is grim. I open the door. What happened? Get your coat, Ms. Hayes. We need to go. Where's Matteo? Alive, but there's been an incident. He's asking for you. My heart stops. What kind of incident? The kind where you don't ask questions and you come with me now. I grab my coat. The drive takes 20 minutes, out of the city, to a warehouse district I've never seen. Marco doesn't speak the entire way, neither do I. The SUV stops outside a nondescript building. Marco opens my door. Straight through, back room. He's waiting. I walk through darkness, past shipping containers and forklifts, toward a light at the back. My heels echo on concrete. The door is open. Matteo is inside, standing with his back to me, still in his suit but with the jacket off. His white shirt is stained with blood. "Oh my God!" I rush forward. He turns, and I see his face. Bruised, split lip, the beginning of a black eye, but alive, whole. "I'm fine," he says quickly. "It's not my blood." Don't ask questions you don't want answers to, Kara. But I can see the bodies behind him, covered with tarps, and I know. "You killed them." "They would have killed me, killed my men, started a war that would have burned this city down." His eyes are hard, colder than I've ever seen. "I did what I had to do." "How many?" "Sienna." "How many?" "4? Maybe 5. One's still breathing but won't be by morning." My stomach turns. This is what Romano meant. This is the reality behind the expensive suits and careful touches. "I should have warned you," Matteo says quietly. "Should have prepared you for this. But there's no good way to show someone the monster they're sleeping with. We're not sleeping together." "Semantics." He steps toward me, and I see the weariness in him, the weight. "This is who I am, Sienna. This is what I do. I kill people who threaten what's mine. I don't hesitate. I don't feel guilty. I do it, and I move on. And I'm supposed to what? Accept that? Pretend this is normal? I'm supposed to give you a choice." He stops in front of me. "You can leave, right now. Marco will drive you anywhere you want. I'll make sure you're protected, that no one from my world ever touches you. You'll be free. Or you stay. You choose this life, knowing what it means, knowing that nights like this will happen, knowing that I am not and will never be a good man." His hand comes up, gentle despite the blood under his nails. "Knowing that I'm already in love with you and there's no going back from that." The words hit me like a physical blow. "You... what?" "I'm in love with you." He says it simply, matter-of-factly, like it's just a truth he's stating. "Have been since you stood in that office refusing to be afraid of me. Maybe before that. I don't know when it happened, I just know it did." "Matteo, I know it's not fair. I know it's not right. I know I have no business loving someone like you when I'm someone like me." His thumb wipes a tear I didn't know I'd shed. "But I do, and you need to decide if you can live with that." I look at him, really look at him. The bruises, the blood, the exhaustion, the vulnerability in eyes that are usually so controlled. I look past him at the covered bodies, at the evidence of violence. I look at my grandmother's necklace, catching light against my throat. And I choose. "I can't do this," I whisper. Something dies in his eyes. "I understand." "I can't do this," I repeat, "unless you promise me something." He goes very still. "What?" "No more lies. No more protection. If I'm choosing this, I'm choosing all of it. I want to know what you do, where you go, what risks you're taking. I won't be kept in the dark like I'm some fragile thing that needs shielding. Sienna. And if this life kills you, I want to know I had every moment, every truth, every piece of you, good and bad and bloody." I step into him, into the smell of gunpowder and violence. "Can you give me that?" His arms come around me, crushing me against his chest. "Yes." "Then I'm staying." "You're insane." "Probably." I pull back to look at his face. "I love you too, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious." His laugh is broken, relieved, exhausted. "When did you know?" "When you fixed my necklace, when you looked at me like I was worth more than my safety." I touch his bruised face gently. "When you trusted me enough to show me this. You're going to be the death of me, or your salvation. I don't deserve salvation. Lucky for you, I'm not offering it, I'm just offering me. That's more than I deserve too. Shut up and kiss me. He does. And it tastes like blood and tears and terrible decisions and the best choice I've ever made. When we finally break apart, he rests his forehead against mine. Last chance to run, Kara. I'm done running. Thank God. He pulls me closer, and I let the world outside this warehouse fade away. The bodies, the violence, the impossible future we're choosing. All that matters is this, his heartbeat against mine, steady and sure. We're both monsters now, and maybe that's exactly what we need to be to survive this world. 3 months later. I quit the gallery the next week. Matteo offers to set me up with a legitimate business. He has connections everywhere, legal ones, but I surprise him. I want to work with you, I say. Absolutely not. I'm serious. You need someone to manage the art side of your operations, someone who understands provenance, authentication, shipping, someone who won't ask uncomfortable questions. It's too dangerous. I'm already in danger. Dating you put a target on my back whether I work for you or not. I lean across his desk. Our negotiations always happen in his office now. At least if I'm involved, I know what's happening. You hate the laundering. I hate being lied to more, and you need someone you can trust completely. I meet his eyes. Can you trust anyone more than me? He can't argue with that logic, so I become his art curator. Officially, I run a high-end gallery that he owns. Unofficially, I handle the transactions that clean his money and make it legitimate. It should feel like selling my soul. Instead, it feels like freedom. Because I'm not pretending anymore. I'm not hiding from what I know, what I'm capable of, who I'm choosing to be. My mother notices the change when I visit her. You seem different, she says, arranging the gardenias I brought. Happier, maybe? I am. Is there someone? Yes. Tell me about him. What do I say? He's a criminal. He kills people. He's the most dangerous man in the city, and I'm absolutely in love with him. He's complicated, I settle on. But he's good to me. That's all that matters. If only she knew. Matteo meets her 2 weeks later. He's charming, respectful, completely convincing as a successful businessman. My mother adores him instantly. He has kind eyes, she tells me later, and I don't have the heart to tell her those eyes have watched people die without flinching, but they are kind, to me at least, and maybe that's enough. We're lying in his bed one night. This has become normal now, sleeping wrapped around each other, his apartment slowly accumulating my things when he traces the necklace I still always wear. She'd hate me, he says quietly. Your grandmother, if she knew what I'd made you into. You didn't make me into anything. I chose this. Same thing. No. I turned to face him. She told me once that the bravest thing a person can do is choose their truth, even when everyone else tells them it's wrong, even when it costs them everything. And is this your truth? I kiss him softly. You're my truth. I'll never deserve you. Good thing I'm not asking you to. He pulls me closer, and I feel his heart beating against mine, steady, strong, alive. Outside, the city glitters with lights and secrets and violence. Inside, we're safe. For now, at least. And for now is all anyone gets in this life. The end. Or the beginning. The closing scene. 6 months later, I'm in Matteo's office at 2 a.m., reviewing shipping manifests, when Marco rushes in. We have a problem. Matteo looks up from his papers. What kind? The Volkov family. They know about Ms. Hayes. The temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. Explain. Matteo's voice is deadly calm. They've been watching her, following her. They sent this an hour ago. Marco hands over a phone. Matteo looks at the screen, and I watch his face turn to stone. What is it? I ask. He turns the phone toward me. It's a photo of me. Taken today, outside the gallery. The message underneath reads, Pretty necklace. We'll take good care of it when she's gone. My blood turns to ice. Matteo stands, and the man in front of me isn't my lover anymore. He's Il Lupo, the wolf, the most dangerous man in the city. Call everyone. Every soldier, every captain, every man who owes us loyalty. His voice is arctic. The Volkovs want war. We'll give them one. Matteo, I start. He pulls me against him, fierce and desperate. Nobody touches you. Nobody threatens you. I will burn this city to the ground before I let anyone take you from me. I'm not going anywhere. I know. He kisses my forehead, gentle despite the violence in his eyes. Because I'm not letting you. He releases me and turns to Marco. Get her to the safe house. Full security, armed guards. Nobody gets in or out without my clearance. I'm not hiding, I protest. Yes, you are. He cups my face. For 3 days. That's all I need. 3 days to end this. Then you come home to me. What are you going to do? What I do best. His smile is terrible, beautiful, absolutely merciless. Protect what's mine. As Marco leads me out, I look back at Matteo. He's already on the phone, speaking rapid Italian, organizing war. And I realize with absolute clarity, I chose this. The danger, the violence, the life where love comes with bodyguards and threats. I chose him, and I'd choose him again, every single time.